Today we're with the all-new Aston Martin DBX, and I'm delighted to say that I've got my friend from Aston Martin Bristol, George Matthews, to show me everything about the car.
Absolutely.
I've heard you're a bit of an expert, George, not just about Aston Martin, but about the all-new DBX as well.
Oh, no pressure at all, but
No
what do you think of it?
What do I think? That's a good question. You know what? It looks very different in real life than it does on the pictures. It looks a bit more angular. You can see the lines a little bit better. You've got
A bit more shape to it.
Got this massive grille on the front, the biggest ever, I believe, that's been fitted to a DB car. How about
Doing its
that?
homework. Yeah, that's right. Obviously, the whole idea is it's recognisable as an Aston Martin. So if we're whole new to this SUV thing, 106-year-old company building sports cars its entire life, you want to do something different. So you want to make sure it's identifiable as an Aston Martin and nothing else.
But why is it black and not chrome, George?
So standard, the car has like a chrome grille, like an aluminium grille with like silver roof rails and silver roof strake and polished exhaust tips. But then if you wanted the more darker features, you can have a black grille, black roof rails, black side strakes, black exhaust tips.
I like the black. I think it's a bit more aggressive.
Yeah,
a bit
it
more
suits this colour quite well.
It does, and the colour is?
Concord blue.
Concord blue, very nice. These nostrils, what would you call them, George?
Bonnet blades.
Bonnet
That's
blades.
what they call them at the world of Aston Martin.
I like these DRLs, and the DRLs are a bit of four-man function, I believe, because you've got some air that flows through.
Absolutely, not just pretty, functional. So this is actually houses the sort of the air intake or the cooling duct for the front brakes.
Oh, very cool. This has to be optional extra. The carbon fibre, as most cars are nowadays.
Yeah, there's like an upper pack and a lower pack, so you can have sort of body colour or all carbon fibre at a later point.
It's a very aggressive front, isn't it? With that grille really accentuates the whole front, I guess. And it sits very high. Look how high it is.
Well, it's got several different ride heights, I believe 7 in total. This is the GT mode. You have Sport, Sport Plus, where the car can lower again for high speed and stability.
Oh, I think it should be a bit lower. I think it should look at that. It's a super sports SUV and it's just sitting a bit high. I don't know.
Well, at some point in time, no doubt we'll have the opportunities to get in one and obviously see what all the ride heights are like.
Well, that is the thing. That's the crux of today, that we can't actually drive it. It's just
unfortunately not. It's a static walk around, but it's plenty to see, so don't be too disappointed, Paul.
But we've heard it, and I can say that it does sound good, but apparently that's not the end result just yet. There's going to be a few little tweaks.
Yeah, some tweaks to do.
As it sounds at the moment, it already sounds very good.
Yeah.
Again, you've got some
functional again, yes, that provides a curtain of air down the side of the car for aero and also extracts pressure from the front wheel arch. Again, stability, it's a sports SUV, it's got a feel like a sports car, so key factor of that is aerodynamics.
Very good. Great looking wheels as well, George. How big are these? What are these? Are these standard?
This is the standard design. All the wheels offered for DBX are 22-inch in size. It's 2 different designs. As I said, this is the standard design. Optional finish though, so you can have silver, diamond turn. This is the satin black.
Match the black pack.
Absolutely.
You don't call it black pack, what do you call it?
Upper black body pack.
Ooh,
yeah.
Very good. And how heavy is the car?
2,245 kilos.
The reason I'm saying that is you want these monster looking brakes here.
Proper brakes, vented discs. People always ask, why hasn't it got ceramics? Well, it's an off-roading car as well. So these are the most practical choice.
Unless you're going to be smashing around a track all day, you don't really need ceramics. These do the job equally as well, and they're less expensive to repair when you need to. They look fantastic in red. Is that standard, the red calipers, or the?
Red calipers is an extra.
Okay.
Standard, they're sort of like what they call dark anodized, like a satin black with the script, but you can option up to colour. Very
nice. And as you walk down the side, you can really see the lines a lot better, can't you?
Absolutely.
It's
a styled car. It's not that sort of slab-sided, typical, cut off the old mill SUV. It is a shaped, beautiful car. It's sculpted. This car's bespoke architecture, so we don't take anything from the manufacturer. We're not owned by a larger manufacturer that we can borrow parts from. So we built a whole new facility in St Athan, which is just over the road.
Over the bridge, yeah,
absolutely.
In South Wales.
And from there, we've got a bespoke factory for a bespoke vehicle, unique architecture, and that's going to be sort of the home of electrification in the future. But for now, is sort of the home of DBX.
So exciting times for Aston Martin Lagonda. Roof rails, are they standard or are they an extra?
Absolutely standard. So you've got the roof rails, you can option roof bars as well. So in terms of equipment, because you're talking about roof rails, I mean, that's again standard. In terms of what you'd expect to see on a luxury premium SUV, everything you'd kind of expect to see in a car is standard. What's optional is what you'd use the car for. So your lifestyle accessories, so if you're into cycling, skiing, adventure, field sports, you then option your sort of equipment around the car to suit whatever you're going to use it for.
As we go down the back, George, now this is where it gets very interesting. I think we could do a whole piece just on this rear end.
Yeah.
It's quite a busy, but
it's voluptuous.
Voluptuous.
It's voluptuous.
Is that an Aston Martin phrase, George?
That's my phrase. But the whole idea of it, again, it's meant to feel like a sports car. So you've got the Vantage sort of styling, sort of rear lights, which is taken from our sports car.
Absolutely beautiful. I love that it goes all the way around there.
Absolutely. It's a complete light bar when you brake. So that's all lights up in sort of one unison light bar, which I think is really, really smart. And then you've got this lovely spoiler.
Let me have a look around the back as well. Let me have a look at this back end.
This spoilers are functional as well, so you notice that it doesn't have like an ugly sort of hideous sort of rear wiper. Because
where is the rear wiper? There's no rear wiper.
No rear wiper, because the way that this channel's air down here, it keeps this completely clear all the time. So if you look at some of the theory. I don't know if you've seen on YouTube some of the Aston Martin DBX footage of it on the rally stage, the prototype. Like that car's covered in mud, but this is always clear.
I don't watch YouTube. These exhausts are nice as well, aren't they?
Yeah, an option here for the carbon sort of coated exhaust tips. That's one of the options you can go for as well.
This is functional as well, these hexagonal sort of holes here?
Yeah, taken from sort of, if you look at a DB11 and DBS, they have this sort of design feature on them as well. So it's channeling that sort of design from the sports cars into the SUV.
Yeah, that's cool. How do you open it, George? How do you even open this
little power tailgate, standard.
Yeah.
And in here you've got sort of buttons to unlatch the rear seats, so you can have a completely flat floor in the back. And then you've also got buttons here, so if you are loading, you know, like a dog into the car or some baggages and things.
So you load a dog in the car, do you, George?
Well, I don't have a dog, so I'm just imagining you kind of scoop it up and chuck it in there.
I would imagine if you did have a dog that you'd put it in a lower mode.
Absolutely, that's what this button's for.
There we go.
So on here you can press that and it will lower the car down to a very low loading height.
You'd want to take that out for your doggy though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we can take that out. You can even order a dog kit. They do a DBX dog partition. And
I'm trying to buy the car. I don't want to. Now you're upselling me already with accessories.
Well, it's all about the lifestyle, isn't it?
It is lifestyle. There's a lot of carbon fibre going on here. It's funny at the front. You just have this little front lip on the front of the car, but you come around the back and it's carbon fibre everywhere.
Absolutely.
It's all happening. Peace and quiet. Should we have a look inside?
Absolutely. Let's have a look inside. So we'll start in the back.
And it's important to understand that this is a prototype car. It's not the finished model.
Yeah, it's not a finished article. This is a prototype vehicle. But how do you feel in the back?
You know, I've got to say, I'm not particularly tall, George. I don't know whether you noticed, but there is plenty of room. There's lots of room in here. I like the panoramic roof. It doesn't open, but it's standard.
The glass roof is standard equipment. So on all the DBXs, they'll all have the glass roof on there, but it's class leading in terms of space. So your sort of knee room, your shoulder room and your head room is class leading.
Heated rear seats are standard?
Yep.
Very good. I just clocked that down there. And actually, I'm quite happy to talk a bit longer and just keep these heated seats on. It's a bit chilly outside, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's not at all freezing out here, Paul, so don't worry about it.
Can you get rear entertainment? Is that an option as well?
No, there was like a clinic they did with the Rapide, because the Rapide we offered with sort of rear entertainment screens, which was DVD driven, but now everyone uses iPads. So now you can just, just tend to, people use iPads in the back of cars in this day and age.
I'm with you, absolutely with you. There is tons of room in the back of there. Absolutely tons of room in the back of there.
How do you feel in the captain's seat?
But whoever's been driving it has had the seat forward a little bit, so you would have it maybe there. Yeah, good, nice driving position. The steering wheel, I don't know, it just looks familiar, but is this the same?
It is a new steering wheel, so it's a new sort of shape, and all the buttons are new because we've got new equipment on the car now, like the radar, cruise. So for that, we've got obviously the new buttons and new functions.
Still got the paddles, column-mounted paddles, standard?
Column-mounted paddles, absolutely.
And down here, got plenty of room. You could really put anything down there, a bag or anything.
Yeah, you can put various items down there, with a wallet, keys, phone, or a small bag.
I've never seen that before. You've got to lean right the way down. So that's the boot release there.
Yeah, that's the boot release, out the way.
That's an unusual place to put it. Well, you say out the way, but don't you want it sort of more in the way, a bit more?
It made sense to put it down there.
I guess it's the same as anything, isn't it? When you get used to a car, it kind of feels like the right place to be. But it's the same as anything. You sit in a brand new car and things are sort of in different places. It takes you a while to get used to it. That's why I just love the fact that it's got proper buttons and not haptic feedback buttons that most cars seem to have these days.
No, absolutely. The whole point of this was that Aston Martin went through a 6-month customer clinic and asked customers what they found, intuitive, helpful, in an interior, and this is the sort of result. So obviously like the space under there, the boot release button and that's location. Also the sort of reduced size air vent registers. So obviously how many times you get into an interior and you have these great big sort of air vents. These are quite subtle and very smart.
Okay, George, I'll take your word for you. I wish in my life I could get excited about air vents as you can. That's my
goal. Detail.
I disagree with you. I think that should be there, the boot release button. But what do I know? But I love the fact you got proper buttons here. And so all the different modes that you mentioned earlier. There's 7 different ride height modes.
Yeah, so it's like like I said, you've got a GT mode and you've got the Sports and Sport Plus modes, which then reduce the height, but also you've got Terrain and Terrain Plus, which then increases the height. So this car has a total of 90 millimeters worth of travel from its current position. Brilliant. So it can go down by 50 or up by 40 millimeters.
And we're up as high as we can go at the moment?
No, this is the GT mode, so it can go higher than this.
Wow, very good. So clearance is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But let's face it, who's going to go off-roading in a beautiful SUV like that? You're not, are you?
Well, I mean, it's probably a very small amount of customers actually will, but.
Brilliant Aston Martin, keeping these buttons here, brilliant interior, typical Aston Martin, what you'd expect, absolute top quality, beautiful leather.
Well, it's an Aston Martin, is it? It's got to be hand-built and it's got to feel handmade. And like you said about the leather, I mean, this is a Caithness leather. So in our sports cars, we offer 2 grades of leather. You can have a Strathmore leather or a softer grain Caithness leather. In the DBX, this car gets the Caithness premium leather as standard, with a whole sort of palette of hides to choose from in terms of colours and materials and stitches.
Speaking of which, this colour?
This is blue haze, yeah, with the red stitch.
So it does match the outside, sort of the inside and the outside come
Absolutely.
together very well, but I don't know. Red stitching on a blue car, is that what
Yeah, it works. It's very, very modern. It kind of works.
George, before we talk about the all-important performance, this is a performance SUV. Price, what's it going to set me back? How much Wonga?
So the DBX in the UK is £158,000 plus your on-the-road charges. And that includes 3 years warranty and 3 years service plan as well.
Okay, so you're right up there with definitely Bentayga.
Absolutely.
Range Rover, I think, sort of similar sort of price, but I think Range Rover and Cayenne Turbo S are probably on the sort of lower end, perhaps, certainly in terms of price, and let's be fair, prestige as well, because very prestigious badge in terms of Aston Martin. But then you're still right up there with the Urus, the Bentayga, so it's a very important market.
Yeah, we're fighting with the most premium of SUVs.
Yeah, for sure. It's just got a nice little feel. It feels actually like a slightly smaller SUV than perhaps you would notice on the.
That's because we pushed the wheels out to the corners. So in terms of the actual size, it's not a humongous car in terms of being intimidating or sort of too big to use and drive. With this car, we've got the existing sort of space, but we push the wheels right out into the corners so we can really use the space in the middle, which is where you sit.
But George, this is a super performance SUV. People are going to want to know, how fast is it? 0 to 62, for example?
4.3 seconds is what we're aiming for.
Aiming for, or is it, so that's as good as
We're
done?
still testing it, but 4.3 seconds should be easily achievable, if not faster.
And top speed limited to 155, I guess?
Absolutely not. No, we're not restricting the car at all, so it should be good for 181 miles an hour. So if you want to take on the autobahns, you can.
Very uncommittal. Should be good, possibly, maybe. Well, is it so nothing's in stone yet? So the performance is.
The 0 to 60 is not in stone, but we know that's achievable. Top speed is officially 181 miles an hour.
Proper performance SUV. I guess finally, George, is where are the keys and where can we go? We've got to take her a drive.
Not today, Paul. Not today. we'll have a spot at lunch.
No one's going to just round the block. Just a little one round the block. Come on, George. Where's the keys? You must have the keys somewhere. Where are they?
Hide the keys.
Where are the keys?